Well, a very good morning and thank you very much for joining us on GBS Morning Extra on this 6th day of the month of November 2019. My name is Timothy Omondi. We start off with news from Nairobi, where President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally spoken on the Kenya Revenue Authority tax collection strategy. The president suggested that the KRA should engage taxpayers into dialogue rather than taking them to court. He asked the Kenya Revenue Authority to make it easy for Kenyan entrepreneurs to do business.
President Uhuru Kenyatta during the annual Taxpayers' Day said that Kenya Revenue Authority should focus on meeting taxpayers and deliver immediate tax collection instead of taking them to court, which results in long court processes.
I also urge the Kenya Revenue Authority to do more to sensitize our taxpayers on the availability of alternative dispute resolution avenues, and to do more to facilitate timely resolution of disputes outside the lengthy and sometimes very expensive routes of the court corridors. So where we can sit and discuss, let us sit and discuss and find solutions and move forward and allow the businesses to continue with their activities as we move in all other cases, and in particular where there has been tax evasion or other criminal conduct. Bwana Kinoti na my friend Bwana Haji, fanyeni kazi yenu na nyinyi.
He added by saying that KRA should not punish people who have not committed a crime. Rather, they should engage them into dialogue first before taking them to court, which is the easiest way and not time-consuming as court process.
Hakuna haja ya kutesa mtu ambaye amefanya makosa. Kama amefanya makosa kidogo na hakuwa amefanya kwa sababu alikuwa na nia ya kuiba, jameni, ketini, muongee, musuluhishe na tuendelee mbele. Really. We must not make every business a criminal. No, they are not. They are not criminals. We know the criminals. Yeah? Yeah. They are not the criminals.
KRA has been aggressively trying to eliminate tax evasion in the country and made several arrests and prosecutions. The authority says that it has so far unearthed of over 60 billion shillings evaded, which it is in the process of recovering. The crackdown has also affected high-profile business people, among them Tabitha Karanja, owner of Kericho Breweries, and billionaire businessman Humphrey Kariuki. Kericho Breweries owner Tabitha Karanja and her husband Joseph Karanja were arrested in August over tax evasion of 14.4 billion shillings, following orders from the Director of Public Prosecution, Nudin Haji. Earlier this year, the court was ordered to freeze accounts of 9 companies associated with Karaoke over a 41 billion shillings tax evasion case. Reporting for GBS Morning Extra, I'm Beatrice Mudoni.
Well, indeed, quite reasonable there. The reasoning of the president makes a lot of sense. Indeed, many Kenyans have of late found themselves on the receiving end, especially when it comes to tax matters. But then I hope that the Kenya Revenue Authority heeds the president's call and put down their ear on the ground to listen to Kenyans, explain to them some of the reasons why sometimes they evade taxes or they fail to submit their tax returns. Well, still in the same event, Deputy President William Ruto took a light moment as he addressed the public yesterday at the Taxpayers Award ceremony. Mr. Ruto said that the country has the freedom to choose the mode of governance that they want, strategies used, but all the decisions are reliant on the tax which every citizen must pay. He addressed for the he said that for us to secure independence and the democracy that we claim as Kenyans, we should be able to pay our taxes.
At one point I thought I had excelled in paying taxes, and maybe I have. But all the same, I still went back and checked my tax compliance certificate, and I want to say to the Commissioner General, I have one, and I'm compliant. Your Excellency, an independent country, and being a democracy, we have the power to choose And we have options to choose the system of government, to choose the leaders we want, to choose the priorities we want. But what underpins that power to choose is the paying of taxes, which we have no options, and we have no power to choose to do or not to do. And I want to say, because of that, the paying of taxes by all of us is not an option. It is not something we choose. It is something we must do if we have to secure our independence and our democracy. I want to congratulate the board, Treasury and the board, for the good job they are doing. I was happy, Your Excellency, earlier when I was engaging the chair, and he told me that the efforts they have made have actually borne fruit. When you compare what happened this year and last year, taxes grew by 11% as opposed to 5%. And it is in direct contradiction with what I read today. One of the politicians said when he was referring to the census report. He said the census report does not reflect our efforts in the bedroom. He was basically trying to say, but I want to say KRA have done a wonderful job. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, let me request you to address this function.
Now, moving away from tax matters, leaders drawn from Tharaka Nithi County have threatened to move to court to challenge the 2019 census results that were released on Monday. Led by Governor Mutomi Nchuki, county leaders say that the outcome does not reflect what the country knows about it. According to the 2019 census report released on Monday, the county had 393,177 registered people, compared to 365,390 in the 2009 census report. Tharaka Nithi was famously thrown into the limelight during the 2007 elections due to its perceived high voter number. In the 2017 general elections, the county had a total of 213,154 registered voters. Governor Nchuki said that the population outcome is important as it reflects the resources to be allocated to the county. They say that the census result is an injustice to the entire area, which needs to be addressed.
For the state, I'm Kareke Mbiuki, MP Mara constituency, and I would like to associate myself with the press release as laid out by our governor, and indicate that it is well known nationally and internationally that the Tharaka Nithi County is known of the Thailand of numbers. And the Thailand of numbers of the Tharaka Nithi County is not reflected as per the numbers or the statistics which were released yesterday. Because prior to the census itself, there was a preliminary survey which was done, which indicated that the numbers from the Tharaka Nithi County was supposed to be more than 480,000. And when we got the final figures of 396, to us it was shocking, and it was erroneous. And that's why, as the leadership of the county, we are calling upon the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury, who is in charge of planning, and the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, to review the statistics which are coming out from Tharaka Nithi County. The law is very clear. In case the leadership of a county petitions the government needs to take it up for subsequent review, and that is what we are calling up at the leadership of Tharaka Nithi County. And failure to that, we are prepared to go the long haul by going to High Court to petition the judiciary to annul the result of Tharaka Nithi County. Secondly, the law is also extremely very clear. People could have been counted anywhere. And as per the forms which you are filling up, you are indicating your resident county, where you come from, your sub-locations and the rest. And we are asking the Kenya Bureau of Statistics if at all those numbers were really counted, because quite a number of people who comes from the Tharaka County, it could have happened that they did not have an opportunity of traveling up country, and they were counted also. Maybe they were counted in Kiambu, they were counted in Nairobi. So we want the Kenya Bureau of Statistics to also be very clear what happened to such numbers, because quite a number of us, I strongly believe they were counted elsewhere, but they are given clear indications as which county comes from. So we are giving notice to the Kenya Bureau of Statistics to relook in terms of the numbers of the Tharaka County, okay, so that they can be able to review the numbers which came out yesterday. Our view that if the Cabinet Secretary for Planning, together with Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, does not review the results for the Tharaka County as requested, we shall be compelled to move to High Court, seeking orders to compel them to cancel the results for the county of the Tharaka and repeat the remuneration exercise, so that the people of the Tharaka can get their right in having correct statistics, just like the rest of the country. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is agreed by all the elected leaders. We have in the national platform, we are 6 of us in number, and as you can see that we already have 4 seated here. We have apologies of the Senator of the Tharaka.
Now moving on to other matters, police in Nyali have arrested 14 knife-wielding suspects. The knives they were wielding are reported to have blood stains. This is an effort by the authorities in the area to maintain peace and security for the residents of Nyali. Here are the updates for the story.
I'm saying that yesterday we received information from members of the public that there was an imminent attack within Boboruru. So my officers moved very quickly, and they were able to arrest the 14 boys. 7 pagas were recovered, and some of the pagas, and 3 knives, and some of the pagas have got blood stains. And we are suspecting that they were used at a robbery 2 days ago. So we are looking for the complainant so that we can be able to compare the blood stains plus the one of the victims, so that we can connect those cases. It is a breakthrough, and it is by the help of the members of the public. I would request members of the public to continue that way, and Mombasa will be safe.
So we understand that you're hearing.
Now moving on to other matters, the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers is set to move to Parliament in its latest attempt to compel the Ministry of Health to pay some 1,200 intern clinical officers who, according to the union, have not yet been paid their monthly dues for a while now.
In a petition addressed to the National Assembly Labour Committee, the Kenyan Union of Clinical Officers said the ministry was non-committal on payment of the interns, despite having been located at 1.2 billion for the internship program.
CBA must be signed and ratified. The scheme of service must be ratified, and all promotions and redesignations must be effected. Without that, the only language, mgomo.
The union also blamed Afya House for delaying salary increments for clinical workers under a return to work formula inked on October 5, 2017, for which 2.9 billion shillings was allocated under the 2019-2020 financial year. The chairperson of the union, Peterson Watcher, said a meeting with Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochachi did not produce any results.
Na serikali kwa muda wa miaka miwili hizo zote wameweza kukosa kutimiza yale ambayo tunaongea mara mbili. Tuko na ile ambayo inaitwa report ya conciliation team yenye ambayo inasema kwamba serikali imeweza kutokubaliana na yale ambayo tunakubaliana.
He also said that the union will have to seek the involvement of parliament to ensure clinical officers enjoy the labor rights provided for in the Article 41 of the Constitution and to ensure the universal health coverage agenda is not curtailed by interruption. The union in return called off a strike that lasted 3 months running from June 16, 2017 to September 15, 2017.
After the 21 days provided by law, we wrote a follow-up letter to inquire as to why the ministry has decided not to act. They still did not act. So according to the law, because we are law-abiding citizens and union, we decided that the law is clear. When conciliation has failed, you give a notice and you go on strike.
According to Ashira, clinical officers are also here to sign a collective bargaining agreement.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
Kenyan Union of Clinical Officers registered a dispute with the Ministry of Labor in April 2018, but conciliation talks under the supervision of a ministry-appointed conciliator flopped after 2 rounds of unsuccessful talks. Reporting for GBS Morning Extra, I'm Mary Vuguza.
Well, away from that, the U.S. government steadied its pace in order to match up, if not surpass, China's role in Kenya's development. It now has initiated an interest and influence salvaging project that is the controversial construction of the Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway.
America's influence in Kenya has been dim compared to that of China, who have doubled down on its commitment with Kenya's infrastructure development. The U.S., however, has initiated an interest and influence salvaging project that is the construction of the Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway. U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Kyle McCarter, rubbished claims that there is a freeze of the project's backing. He said that if they are involved in infrastructure projects, they are going to be the most competitively priced, will offer the best quality, and offer jobs to Kenyans. Mr. McCarter added that they may do road number 1, but will train Kenyans to do road number 2. Even though the words of the new ambassador sound promising, it has faced criticism of the viability of huge capital infrastructure and undertakings which are believed to only drown the government into more debt. The World Bank and IMF has raised an alarm on Kenya's fiscal management. The American ambassador gave assurance that they are not involved in debt with no payback. He added that all debt is not created equal and that it's not a bad thing if Kenya has a way to pay for it. Reporting for GBS Morning Extra, I'm William.
Now, on the international scene, protesters in Chile clashed with police in the streets while they looted stores and endured a strong earthquake at the close of a huge rally kicking off the 3rd week of anti-government demonstrations that have sparked deadly unrest. Tens of thousands of people gathered in Plaza de Italia, the epicenter of the unrest over economic inequality and other wars, and tried to march on the presidential palace in downtown Santiago. Fights broke out with the police trying to contain them, with officers firing water cannons and tear gas. One officer was hit in the face with a Molotov cocktail. People banged pots and pans and blew the horns of their cars as night fell in the city of Santiago. Well, with that, we do now take a short break, but before we do that, let's take a look at what's happening today in history. Well, that brings us to the end of our first segment here at GBS Morning Extra. We do take another short break very quickly, and then when we come back, we are going to discuss business matters for you today. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.